I didn't get much done on the projects this week, mainly because I couldn't figure out what the next step should be on the WR250. In the last video, I asked what you guys thought we should do. Most popular responses were either sell it and parlay that into another project, or do a giveaway or a contest. Regardless of what happens, I do think the next owner of this machine should be a viewer. That's only fair. After we got done filming last time, I rode the motorcycle around a little bit more, I washed it, and now I have an affinity for this motorcycle that wasn't there before. I want to spend more time with it and make it nice. The trouble is, I didn't know what I could do to this machine that would be fun and interesting for you guys to watch. But then I got some inspiration. There's two phases of what's in store for this motorcycle. Phase one is pretty standard. We're just going to do new plastics and a few mechanical bits to make the engine run really solid. But phase two is what's going to give this the extra kick. And I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I'll give you a hint. It's something that was suggested to me over and over again about the Corvette. I rejected it on the Corvette, but I think it's a perfect solution for the WR250. So the Sharps will have that figured out pretty quickly. So I've ordered parts, about $400 worth in there.
What?
So I can't do much to this while I'm waiting for all those parts to arrive, except trying to justify it to my wife, and we won't film that. But we can start taking some things apart that I want to replace. Well, I didn't get very far with taking off the plastics. This radiator shroud is held in place with two bolts, but they're either so tight or so corroded that they won't come loose. The captive nuts that are stuck in the gas tank just spin. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Very confidence inspiring that I can't even take off parts like this. So I've tried removing these bolts with the most sophisticated methods available. They're not coming out. And one of the bolts that holds the other shroud on has the same problem. This gas tank isn't in the greatest shape anyway. It has a lot of cracks from sitting out in the sun. There's a case to be made for replacing it, even though it is expensive.
Are you going to make that case?
I'll think about it while I remove some fenders.
I know what you should do.
Yes?
Donor bike.
Donor bike. I like the way you think, but I've had a few WR250s already, and it might be time to cut the chain. I don't know how much they can take.
Well, you wouldn't have to put it on YouTube.
That's my justification for investing all this money. There, it's ready for some new parts. The last thing I want to do today is check the valve clearances. I joked about this in the last video, but that's just how my attitude toward this has changed in a week.
Hot and cold you are.
Well, there's potential here that I didn't see before, and I have a difficult time leaving something unfinished. I can't deny who I am.
Shasta?
For the valves, the intake should be between 0.100 and 0.150 millimeters, and the exhaust should be between 0.170 and 220, which means for the intake side, this one should go in pretty easily. Good there. Good there. And good there too. Now we'll try the 152. This one should be really tight. And it is. For the middle, does not want to go in. And the left side. Tight there too, so we're good on the intake valves. For the exhaust, minimum is 170. The closest I have is a 102 and a 76. So that should fit in there. Doesn't even go in, so that one's too tight. Oh, it's been a while since I've done this. Make sure the valves aren't open when you try to check the clearance. There, now let's see. Yeah, that goes in. Both valves. Last check. The closest I have to 220 is 102 plus 127. So this should definitely be too tall. First one. Good. Are these all going to be within spec.
That'd be nice.
Last one. Loose. A little bit loose.
So you got some adjustment to do.
I'm really impressed though. I think somebody ran a tight ship on this motorcycle. What I need is some valve shims, which are cheap. I think that's where we'll stop for today. Next video, we're not going to have parts for this yet because they're coming from a couple different places. We'll start working on the KX100.
What?
Yeah! Thanks for watching.